Hey everyone, my name is Jessica. Today I wanted to do a quick video on how to change your Optune arrays that you put on your head. So to quickly get started, I'm going to go through the items used to carry on with this process. So the first thing that I use is definitely our handy dandy Philips Series 5000 hair cutter. You should have gotten one of these in your packet. I'm also going to be using medical scissors too to cut my arrays. I'm using my set of arrays that they sent me, 2 in white and 2 in black. You can tell by the end here. They're going to be the different colors that you need. See, this one's white. And I'm going to have my gauze here. They should send you these as well. My medical tape, and I'll show you how to use this towards the end. And also the 70% alcohol that you need. This is the only item that they don't send you. So make sure you can get this at, I got this at Target, very inexpensive, but if there's financial assistance needed, then I think there's other cancer organizations that can help you in getting this. But those are the basics. Oh, and also my handy dandy Optune machine. See that it's in here, so we're going to be using it to connect at the end. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started with shaving my head. So I've been using Optune for many months now, since the end of June of 2017. I was diagnosed with glioblastoma in March 22nd of 2017, so this is kind of like a very much of a must for me to do. So for you folks that have family or friends that can come over and help you do this, awesome. But for me, all my family and friends work when I need to change my arrays, so I get to shave my own head, which is fine because I actually got used to it. It was scary at first, but it's fine. You get used to it. So I'm just going to take a couple more minutes to complete this. It usually takes me about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to do, but because my hair grows back every 2 days, so fairly quickly, but it's getting there. You want to make sure that it is as close to the scalp as possible as far as the hair removal. You can see my scars right there from my surgery. Ain't no big thing. Just kidding, it's huge. Okay, so the next step is to cut these bad boys, the arrays. So the way that I do it is that I actually cut it to the needs of what my lady, I call her that's the one that comes over to your house every month to check up on you. So she gave me my map and told me like where to put it. So when I put my arrays on, I put them on here, here, right here, and then in the back right here. And I'll show you how I do it in a little bit. But the way that I start to do it is to just cut them so that when I put them on, it's a little bit more of a faster process. It just works better for me. So this one is going to go on the back of my head. And the way I cut it, I just start right here. I like maybe one little, maybe like less than an inch away from the tip of where the first array is. Kind of just cut it. That way you don't have like all this mess of sticky stuff all over your head when you take them off. It's a lot easier for cleanup purposes too when you decide to shower. So it works out for me at least, because my hair grows back every 2 days. So I need to be changing these things very often. So see, so when I cut it, you get a nice little rectangle like this. So it'll go perfectly on. So I start off with the black one, and now I'm moving on to a white one. So So the way I do it is I start off with the front, and then I do the sides, and then I do the back. So the black ones, they go on the front side. So I do the back one first, and then I do 2 white ones, and then I go back to doing a black one for the to start off with. And I'll show you later on kind of my order. So I'm just going to cut this one the same way. This one's going on the side of my head, so I just want to make sure that I'm adjusting for that. And this takes practice. This is like more than 6 months of me practicing how to do this. So don't worry, you'll get it. So this white one here is going over here. You'll see how I made it fit to where it needs to be. And this next white one is going on the other side of my head. And this one's a little bit closer to my ear. So I'll show you how I adjust to make it fit. So this part right here, I'm actually going to cut it a little bit closer to where the arrays are because it's going to go right on my ear. And I will show you what it looks like once I'm done. Okay, so when I flip it over, because mine goes right here, you see, I don't want it to have any excess right here in the bottom because then it's gonna flap over my ear and we don't want that. Now here's my last one. This is a black one. I'm just taking off the little things right here. So this one's going on the front part of my head. And again, I don't have much help doing this during the day when everyone's at work. So I've kind of learned how to just do it by myself. You can do it too. Okay, so I have my sets ready to go. So it's black, white, white, and black. And it'll make sense right now when I put them on, so no worries. Okay, so on to my least favorite part. I'm going to take out the gauze and put some alcohol in it to make sure that there is no oil on top of my head. I did shower earlier today and just kind of just had it off for a couple hours to let my skin breathe a little bit, because it does get, you'll start to notice a little, I don't even know what they're called, but they're just like sensitive pieces on your head where the arrays are. So you want to make sure that you're rotating those back and forth as, you know, whenever you're changing your arrays. Yeah, so just dab some alcohol on your gauze, just like that, and wipe your head. It's gonna sting. It stings for me at least, because obviously, well, not obviously, but I've never had a shaved head before, so this was all very new to me at the beginning. And I like to clean behind my ears in case I miss something in the shower, but just make sure it's all clean. So you want to make sure that your gauze kind of looks like there's nothing on it, because the one earlier you can clearly see there was a lot of gunk on my head still, but that's just from, you know, natural stuff. Okay, so I think I am good to go, and I'm just gonna let this air out, make sure it's all good to go. So now I'm just gonna go wash my hands before I put on the arrays, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going on to the next step. So it looks like today I'm gonna be shifting my erase to go back instead of forward. And I'll probably do another video showing the forward piece of how I do it. So with the going back, it's just going to be, I'm going to be placing the front ones over here instead of over here. And then I'll show you how I adjust the sides in the back too. And the way I keep track of it is that every other day, since I do change mine every 2 days, you can see here in my calendar that I put B for back and F for forward on the days that I need to do it. That's how I keep track of it, because early on in the process I wasn't doing that, and I would just get really mixed up as far as like what part of my head should I be doing this, and my skin would get irritated when I would put it on the same spot for more than 4 days. So be careful with that. And again, it takes practice. It took me months to get this right, so don't worry. Okay, so I took off the sticky parts, and since I am going back, mine go a little bit crooked right here. So you just want to make sure that you put it on nicely, nice and smooth, just like that. And I always like to pat them down just to make sure that nothing comes off at night or anytime throughout the day. I don't know if this happens to you, but I actually got shocked by the electric waves that are going in there, and that is not a good feeling. It actually happened to me like 5 times, and it's the worst feeling in the world. It hurts. Okay, so now with this one, I'm going to be doing it back. So the ones by the ear, when I say back, it's actually going forward. And making sure I'm patting everything down so that it sticks nice and good. So here's the other one that I'm putting on. So lucky me, I was blessed with a little mole right here. So that's kind of my indicator of where I put my array here on this side. So when it goes forward, it aligns right, the middle part right here, it aligns right with my mole. And then when I put it forward, I just make sure to move it up a little bit. Backwards, I'm sorry. So now that it's going backwards, I'm just going to pop it right there. That's where it goes. Okay, so that one's good. So the last one is the one that goes on the back. And I'm going to use 2 fingers to measure out where this part needs to go. And this is one of the trickier parts. So I do here, and then I make sure that the sticky is on my finger, on my middle finger, and I place them down. You want to make sure that none of the other sticky stuff is in the way of the actual array, because you want to make sure that you're getting the treatment. So pat those down, and make sure to pat down any other area that needs to, and you can always see it, they're pretty visible. So now here comes the fun part, where I get to braid my hair. So I always make sure to just braid it out so that when I put on my little hat, that I'm good to go. So I just braid it in the back. And this is where you can do it on your own, or maybe have someone help you. I like doing it on my own. Makes me feel like a boss. Okay, so and then after I braid them both together so that I get a nice clean string. So you just braid it all the way down. And then I just like to let them swing around each other so that I can tape them together. Okay, so now I'm getting the medical tape and wrapping it around, because you don't want wires to go everywhere when you're just like hanging out at your house or on the go getting some groceries. And what I like to do here is to bring them together. I like to bring all these strings down so that they are all about the same length. It doesn't have to be perfect, so no worries. And I tape these together.